You choose the life you want to live. I choose to be happy, no matter what.
The Navajo land is one of rich culture and history. Its people have carried on their traditions and ceremonies through the generations. There is a spirit here that breathes life into everything.
There are some things in nature that you need to use as a resource to have confidence in yourself. You know, to be compassionate and to have understanding and love.
Harry Walters is a part of this culture. As an archaeologist, historical museum director, and teacher, much of his life's work has been to preserve it. One of his greatest achievements was the creation of the Navajo Community College Historical Museum.
I created the artifacts collection, and then the audiovisual exhibit programs and education programs. So I did this all from scratch, you know.
Harry also helped design the curriculum for the Center of Diné Studies. In this, Harry and other Navajo elders worked together to combine Navajo culture and ways of thinking into a Western-style curriculum. Although it proved to be successful, the task was difficult.
In many cases, our traditional curriculum do not fit, and so this is very hard, and we're at a constant struggle with that.
It's a struggle that's nothing new to the Navajo people. The balance between Western culture and their own is a delicate one. As an anthropologist, Harry knows it well.
For a long time, I was troubled by tradition and science. You know, I used to sit in ceremonies and everything that was happening, things like it, and trying to analyze it. You know, put it into scientific terms, and it really bothered me.
But Harry, like many before him, learned to overcome it.
It was at a seminar. This article says they were talking about Native tradition and science. A young man stood up and he said, "I'm a Native American. I'm also an anthropologist." And he said, I have a duty to science." And the lawyer said, "Anthropology is just your profession. You learned that." He said, "You are a Native American. You were born Native American, you will die Native American." He says, "Your first duty should be to preserve the tradition of your people." And I thought about it and said, that's it. I have been looking at my culture from an Anglo-anthropological perspective. I said, why am I doing that? Why am I trying to be a white man? And I think most of us are like that. And I said, there are many Anglo-anthropologists who could run circles around me. They have all kinds of degrees and I could never compete with them. But how many of them can speak a native language? Probably none. How many of them know what ceremonies are really about? Probably none. I do. I have that advantage. I also had the same training. So I started studying from the Navajo perspective.
It is perhaps the best way to preserve the values and beliefs of a culture, to live them.
Honesty, being honest with yourself, and happiness, and be happy. I go walking every day, and in the morning, and sometimes we just go out there hiking. My wife and I, by ourselves there. That's where I get my peace of mind. I can sit there and look at it and say, this is beautiful. We live in a beautiful place.
They turn red. They're about the size of a cherry. They're edible. But they're ripe around by August and early September.
I think that we are really not losing our culture. We are losing our way of life in the past. And every culture, goes through that. Culture change. Culture change as, the way of life change with it. But the one thing that that I'm very concerned about is the values. The Western society does not really have values, and it's not taught in school. And that values is something that you learn on your own. But with us, it is part of that. The whole traditional education system is that you respect and know about values.
The future of the Navajo culture lies in its people.
We have a way of looking at the natural world, the way it is organized, the way it behaves. We are a part of it. Our culture, our belief system is aligned with this order, and that to recognize that and use that, everything will start falling into place.
Today, the Navajo land remains a land of rich culture and history. There's a spirit here. To understand it and to use it is a gift.
It's what makes us, a Native American, and it's this kind of chemistry that makes ceremonies work. And then again, the same chemistry can also bring happiness, and content.